Today on the Wrestling Roundtable, the best and worst swerves and forgotten gems. Swerve, it's not the best and worst swerves. Actually, that might be a best swerve. It's the best and worst attire. We're going to do some intros first before we get to our talk. Will Brooks, sitting to my right, which is your left. He's been a fan of 23 years. And also Orlando O'Neill, fan of 19 years. Sitting to my left, which is your right, is Rodney LeConte, director of the Grappling Kings and commercial specialist, fan of 22 years, same amount of time as myself. I'm the host, Eric Santamaria, been in wrestling a little over 6 years as a videographer and many other things, but we're also going to let you know that you should get these DVDs of Pro Wrestling Respect at WrestlingRoundtable.com, as well as the t-shirt. Visit our shop. We also have bios, columns, newsletter sign up, message board, tons of content for you at WrestlingRoundtable.com, always including this show. Let's move on to the best and worst attire. In wrestling, being that it's a very unique art form, a performance art, let's say, the clothes that wrestlers wear to the ring, in the ring, really represent a lot of the character. It's supposed to represent their mood or what they're about. It has to represent the character in a sense. What does it say about you? Is it something basic? Is it something elaborate? But being a best and worst trend in this show, we're going to start with the worst and get the negativity out of the way. So let's go to some of the more stupid, odd choices that promoters and wrestlers have made over the years, but we're going to divide it into two segments. Something you may have worn to the ring as a special WrestleMania entrance or a special occasion, or stuff that you wear to actually compete and wrestle in. So what do you think are some of the worst examples of what not to wear when you're going to the ring, Will?
I always hated what the honky tonk man used to wear, because it always took him like 10 minutes to get out of it. Like he'd take it off and he just would like play with it on his, trying to get off his boots. It just took way too long and just kind of killed whatever he had going into the ring.
Well, maybe he's supposed to be that way. He is a heel. He's supposed to annoy people.
Farouk Assad, 1996.
The Gladiator,
Oh man, that was horrible. How are you gonna have a former WCW champion?
Well, that didn't matter.
I know, but people have seen him before. Maybe not a majority of people. People have seen him before and just come in with a helmet, like in a baby blue attire. It just didn't look right. At WrestleMania 22, the King of Kings, the Jesus of pro wrestling, Triple H, took his entrance to a new level. He's always rumored to be in the next Conan remake or whatever, but then he actually comes out wearing this skin and crown. It just looked fucking ridiculous.
You almost thought of it as a joke. Right? AJ Styles wearing Ric Flair's robe in TNA. It didn't fit at all and just reeked of bad writing, bad creativity, lack of creativity, I should say. And it's something where you look at and you want to change the channel because it's just so bad. It didn't fit at all. I don't know what they were thinking.
It works for Flair, but not for him, but almost in the same sense that it didn't work for Harley Race. They're ripping off Jerry the King Lawler in Memphis, a great character, and whoever hadn't been to WWF yet, but then they make King Harley Race. Harley Race is their king, and he just looked ridiculous. Like, Harley Race is a beer drinking tattooed man. He doesn't need this shit. And then he comes out with his purple cape and ridiculous crown. It really didn't work. Let's move on to what you actually wear in the ring, because those can be stupid too. What do you think were some of the worst outfits to wrestle in?
Naked Midian and Big Daddy V when he had just suspenders and no shirt on. Awful. I didn't want to watch any of the matches.
You didn't like his abs?
Or lack thereof.
No Mercy, 99. He wrestled William Regal and he had his fanny pack on. That was the most disturbing. My mom walked in while I was watching that pay-per-view and made me turn it off. It was that bad. But also, Mean Street Posse. Who the hell was going to take them serious? In a polo sweater, khakis.
That's what made them so funny
That was
to watch.
great.
Oh,
Man. Like, that was what's like,
I
that
just
was
love
the
to hear
gimmick.
my name on WWF TV at the time, too.
Posse.
Well, I hate more the goofy shit.
Okay.
You see a lot of this shit in Chicago, like Los Ice Creams and Ultra Mantis, like a fucking ant is wrestling. It's just fucking retarded. But it also is like that with Lucha, which is what they're trying to copy too. When you see the little midget monkey, the blue monkey, what the fuck is that? And it just makes too much of a mockery of wrestling. I like Lucha outfits like La Parka and stuff, but there's just a certain intangible line that it just goes over and it just gets way too goofy for me.
WWE's big star, John Cena. I'm not a fan of the jean shorts, and I have Bret Hart in the same category. Bret Hart, 2010. I don't like the street clothes that he wears. I would rather see him, even if he's not in the same shape, I'd rather see him in the pink and black tights.
You want to see a man in pink, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't want to see a man in pantyhose, and I'm pretty sure that's what Shawn Michaels wore in Survivor Series 2002. We were just talking about this before we went on the camera, but I don't understand how this story is. Well, they didn't have my outfit finished in time, so I just wore what they had ready or whatever it was, and it looked like goddamn pantyhose winning the title. And I don't understand. He's probably got, like you said, a closet full of outfits. Like, oh, I can't break out the WrestleMania 12 white and gold outfit. Pick something. It would look a little better than that.
Dusty Rhodes, when he came to the WF with the polka dots, that was just ugly. The American Dream, and then he's wearing polka dots.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, another goofy one. Aldo Montoya and his jockstrap mask. Yeah, that's pretty bad.
Rey Mysterio would wear a lot of different outfits that were based on superheroes, Spider-Man and whatever.
Flash.
But also, now that we're mentioning Mysterio, that Joker outfit he wore at WrestleMania 25 just looked ridiculous. It looked like doink. But what I was getting at was the Silver Surfer one he wore at SummerSlam 07. It just, of all the superheroes, he looked like the Pillsbury Doughboy instead of the Silver Surfer.
This one isn't as over the top as some of our other choices, but Triple H wearing the bike shorts in 2003 really didn't fit with me. When Goldberg beat him for the title, just because he wasn't in his proper attire, it really took something away in my eyes that he didn't beat the real Triple H. Yeah, he was fat, he had the bike shorts.
Well, his groin was torn or something, a groin injury of that level, and that's why he wore the biker shorts, and that's why he ate all the wedding cake that Stephanie had, and he put on a lot of weight. He really didn't look good.
I hate tie-dye. So Man Mountain Rock and Dude Love, and even Superstar Billy Graham when he came back. Tie-dye, I hate it, and I don't like it wrestlers wearing it.
You want tie-dye to die.
I do.
What about Tugboat's outfit when he came in 1990 with the white and red stripes as a sailor?
Kid, I didn't mind it.
Yeah, as a kid, I didn't like it. As a kid, yeah, it doesn't really matter. It makes sense. He's a tugboat.
Well, either way, I think that red one-strap Bundy-style outfit that Shane Hagedorn was wearing a few years ago, not the most flattering outfit I've ever seen.
The narcissist Lex Luger. I don't like Phillies at all, and he had that white one going on. I really just didn't care for it. I didn't like it at all.
Okay.
High energy. Coco Beware, Owen Hart with the checkered jacket and
the funky white boy. All right.
The MC Hammer
pants.
Parachute pants.
And all they did was smile and wave. Oh, so
I think
90s.
the obvious one is Mantar with that ridiculous moose head or whatever the hell he was wearing. But I don't think it counts per se because I don't think he ever really had a match. But what about the Yeti? Just a like 8-foot mummy wrapped up in
masking tape or whatever.
Double humping Hulk Hogan with the giant. It was horrible.
Rob Conway / Shelton Benjamin when they were heels, because I don't think that just putting sunglasses on a wrestler is a way of getting them over as a heel. I hate it. I hate it. Wait. Shelton wear these goofy shirts.
No, the best one was Jay Lethal in Ring of Honor.
Oh, yeah.
He turns heel on his protege, Samoa Joe. And how do you know he's a heel? He comes out of the next show wearing sunglasses. Nothing's changed.
No.
He does the exact same moves, talks the exact same, but he's wearing sunglasses. So he's
now you can't see his eyes. You can't relate to him, and he's bad.
Slick back.
All right.
Lack of creativity there.
Well, we're going to move on to some of the best examples of what to wear, best attire when we come back.
Can you feel the earthquake when Dynamite explodes? And when I get through with you with the Sheik, you best believe Dynamite's going to be representing USA and representing Knoxville, North Carolina, and it's also going to whoop your tail all over Knoxville and represent the United States and send right back to the USSR. And that's all I got to say about that.
Well, actually, I don't think the Sheik is from the USSR. I think he's from somewhere in the Middle East. So, but you're close. Don't worry about it. We'll keep going. It's only $5 wrestling.
He's got that power builder build.
He really does.
Really does. Sharpshooter, shades of Brett. Look at that.
Textbook
now, you know what? I tell you
sharpshooter.
what. You watched Brett, you watched Owen. They both had different versions. Jeff is no different.
That's such like typical wrestling. I'm gonna put sunglasses.
Yeah,
People are gonna hate me.
How's he gonna get over it? How are we gonna make him? Sunglasses. I got it. That's good.
And you know that some assholes. Welcome back to Wrestling Roundtable. Thank you for watching us on YouTube or Go Fight Live or listening to us on iTunes. You can get all of our shows ever, including the first season that's not available, all of it on YouTube anymore, at WrestlingRoundtablePodcast.com or type in Wrestling Roundtable on iTunes. So thank you for joining us there. And we were talking about the best and worst attire in wrestling. Now, when it comes to what you're actually wearing, a lot of these fucking indie guys in the past 10 years have adopted the trash bag look. I don't know if it's the Hardys or whatever, but you see a lot of that. People hate that, the purists, I guess. But if you go further back in time, Billy Graham was really the one that started this trend of wearing more outrageous, colorful stuff. And then it leads up into, carrying on from that, guys who were influenced by him, including Macho Man Randy Savage. Going to the ring, which is what we're going to talk about first, he set the trend for that with the robes in the 80s and a lot more elaborate outfits from the same guy who designed outfits from Jimi Hendrix. So even Ric Flair, taking, I guess, a nod from Gorgeous George, who I believe started that trend of wearing robes. And how many people have worn robes to the ring, but none more famous than Ric Flair, certainly not AJ Styles like we mentioned. But what are your ideas, Will, for what are the coolest outfits to wear to the ring?
The best of all time. The Road Warriors,
Mm-hmm.
Legion Doom, when they had the spikes, the shoulder pads with the spikes, and I always think...
Wait. Is this the NWA one big spike or
No.
the WWF red multiple spikes?
The red and black ones. And I remember when I was a kid...
I like the black with multiple silver spikes myself.
When I was a kid and I first started playing Pee Wee football, right at the time Legion Doom got into WWF when they had the red ones, I wanted to, for Halloween one year, get some fake spikes on my shoulder pads and do it, but I couldn't do it. I'm not that creative.
Undertaker is also someone known for not just many different looks, but a lot of elaborate entrances. It's a big thing, Undertaker walking to the ring now, but one of my favorites is Undertaker 1998.
WrestleMania 14?
Around Wrestling, well, not so much the ridiculous
okay.
thing at WrestleMania 14, but the cool shoulder pads and metal sort of studded look. That was my favorite Undertaker.
Almost no one perfected it more than Taz. Just with the towel over his head, and you could just see his nose, stalkerish, walk into the ring. I thought it really made an entrance and really worked with him and his character.
I'm surprised, being a Bret Hart fan, you didn't mention Bret Hart, because I love the military-style shoulder pads and, of course, those banded...
Well, not only Bret Hart, but I just think the Hart Foundation, both in general. I think
Okay.
him and Jim and Neidhart both had great look going on there in the early 90s.
Well, I mentioned Rey Mysterio was one of the worst in the last one, but I think at WrestleMania 22 he had one of the best because everyone tries spicing it up for WrestleMania. I love the Macho Man's black and gold outfit at WrestleMania when he wore that to the ring, when he was in that cowboy hat phase with the strips and everything.
Same thing with WrestleMania 10, too, with the black and white.
Yeah.
Well, Mysterio at 22 had that Aztec-inspired tribal outfit. I thought that was really cool.
Gold Dust.
Yes.
Based on his character with the robe and the wig and the glitter, and it just fit his character perfectly. And also he had Marlena by his side with the cigars. It added a whole lot to his character.
Well, what about after he takes the wig and the robe off and he actually has to wrestle? Wearing a bodysuit may not be the best in the world. I mean, think about all these years that have gone by. We've never seen Road Dogg Jesse James' nipples.
Oh,
He's always have to cover up his horrible body with whatever suit he's wearing. But let's get to some of the best examples, the opposite of that. What are some of the best outfits that you've seen wrestlers actually wear? Is it something maybe basic like Austin and Goldberg, the black underwear as they call it, the nut huggers?
The manties. No, I'm kind of a metalhead, and I love Raven. And Raven wrestling in jean shorts.
See, with Raven it works. With
Definitely
Raven it works.
Work with Raven.
Well, why
Yeah.
does it work with Raven and not Cena?
I don't like it with Cena. I just don't like it.
It works with Raven because it was part of Raven's character that he was this dark, brooding guy. Like, he wore that band T-shirt and the jeans and the long hair and just would sit in the corner like, it was, that's what his whole thing was, and it was great.
Undertaker, early 90s.
The gray?
The gray
Gray
gloves,
gloves.
the gray boots, just real simple, all black with his minimal tattoos, of course. Simple yet effective, and it was a perfect way to get him
But
over.
the Undertaker never really had a bad look, though. I mean, like, when he did that, that's when he was being the most evil, when he was, like, unstoppable. Then he
Putting
went to the
people in body
purple,
bags.
when he went to
Yeah.
purple
He was
in the
constantly
mid-90s
evolving.
because it was, like, the vibrant colors were in. Then he went to all black when it was in the Attitude Era, when it was all dark. Then he went to the Underbiker, the biker outfit. And then he went back to the Deadman with the nice, cool hat. All his outfits were cool.
Okay.
They all worked with what
Yeah,
he was
they
doing
all
and the
worked.
sign of the times.
Yeah.
Well,
He never had a bad outfit.
I'm going to get even more niche than that because not just for a character, Ravishing Rick Rude would have tights for specific feuds, whether it was Jake the Snake Roberts and Cheryl or against Ultimate Warrior. He had a lot of cool custom-made painted tights, and he's not the only one, like Warriors at WrestleMania 7 with the belt on the back, and it said it's much more important than this. I like those sort of things. It shows a lot of attention to detail.
I like Kurt Angle's. I also liked his singlets, the red, white, and blue. And also Mr. Perfect. Even though it's kind of simple, I like the way the
that
colors
triangle
match.
at the bottom, right?
Yeah,
Cool.
yeah. Mr. Perfect Angle. I think those are
What's
two very
your
simple.
favorite color combination between the triangle and the rest of the tights?
Blue and yellow? Blue and yellow or orange and black?
That's my two favorites as well.
Yeah, it just fit his character.
It totally did. It was great.
Also, speaking of special occasions, Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania 12, I just mentioned, the white and gold outfit. It was really cool. And I don't think it spoils it that you know he's going to win the belt or whatever. It was his occasion. It was his chance. It was really cool. But I like Yokozuna's also because that's very only for him. You know, he's supposed to be the sumo wrestler, and obviously we can't have man-ass run around TV. Whoops, we did that with Rikishi.
I like his ring attire too, what he wore to the ring. Big
Yeah.
with the big flag in the back.
But for something more basic, I mean, I'm not going to go the Luthez, Austin sort of route of just black tights and black boots, but I like franchise Shane Douglas in '97. He had the frilly yellow on the boots, and it was somewhat basic.
Franchise logo in the back.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Cactus Jack when he wore the Wanted T-shirt. I always thought that was really cool. But the one I liked the most was when Tommy Dreamer was in the WF when he always wore like the shirt the fans would buy. Because didn't it always seem like he was kind of
He was a walking ad for the shop.
No, but it seemed, to me, it worked because to me it always seemed like he was a fan who wasn't really all that athletic, not really all that great, but he always made up for it with working very hard.
That's why he wore a T-shirt to wrestle.
Exactly. So it actually worked because it seemed like he's just an overzealous fan who actually got to make it, and that's why he's wearing all the fan T-shirts that we like to wear.
RVD, he always had great attires. The one that stood out to me is his attire that he wore at Invasion 2001, the tiger print singlet with the tiger in the front. I thought that was really badass.
He had a lot of cool custom outfits too. But let's go to some indie guys because I think Super Dragon has a really cool look. I mean, obviously he needs to wear that outfit to cover up the horrible body, but between that, which at least you got to cover it up, like Tommy Dreamer or Road Dogg or whatever, but the mask was really cool too. That's a really cool design mask, and I think it complements the overall look to cover up for maybe his lack of physicality.
Well, speaking of not covering up, Samoa Joe, because he's wearing tights that usually smaller men wear, and he's not hiding the fact that he's not in the greatest shape in the world, but I think it's complimentary to his style and his attitude that, like, I don't care what I look like, I'm going to go out and I'm going to beat your ass, I'm going to show the skills I got, be Samoa Joe, just be Joe.
What about Diesel's outfit? That pattern even into WCW of the pants with the singlet combo with the frills down the side. I thought it's a pretty cool look.
I'm not big on frills, but let's go with some women on this one. Sunny, when she was managing LOD, she was basically naked and she was so hot.
And they had that flame design on her hot tits.
God, Scary Sherry. Every outfit she wore, I thought was awesome. It was either designed to make her look scary, evil, or sexy. Sometimes all three at once.
I think the cat makeup in 1990 was iffy, but aside from that.
But I'm not talking about I'm talking about outfits though. I'm not talking about exactly the face.
Rey Mysterio Halloween Havoc 97 with the purple body outfit. I thought that was really cool because Rey Mysterio in WCW was always the mask and tights, but you could tell this is really a special occasion. He bust out the bodysuit with the mask, and I thought that was pretty cool.
I also liked Alundra Blaze, what she wore, even with her ring attire too. The cape and everything like that, it brought out more of her personality.
You mentioned some of the women wrestlers. I think we have to end on one of my favorite outfits for a woman wrestler of all time that I thought was pretty hot. It was after the RTC angle in 2001 when she had the librarian look that everybody liked. Ivory got involved in the invasion angle, so it was either after that time or the next year. But she was wearing this outfit as a heel. Maybe no one remembers but me. It really stood out. But on her bottoms, the tights that she wore, there was a hole right in the middle of her ass crack. And you could see her ass.
I remember that. Yeah, I remember that. I remember that.
I stopped watching.
Yeah, I remember that.
How many matches did that probably ruin? I couldn't concentrate.
How can you? Woo! Now I'm gonna look that up.
Yes, we do.
So do I.
She's probably still looking Prince.
Well,
Brutus Beefcake.
Well, hopefully you've kept your concentration through this discussion because we're going to move on now to some forgotten gems of pro wrestling.